Hello there. In this video, we're going to go over the required structures of the eye. So if you turn to page 53 in your lab packet, you will be able to see a list there of all the structures you should be able to identify and spell correctly for the first practical. So we'll start off with the external structures that we can visualize here. So we have what's referred to as the cornea. Now the cornea tends to be transparent and clear when we look at each other's eyes, but because it's been in preservatives, the proteins have denatured and it kind of clouds up here like that. Now most of the eye is covered by what's known as the white part of the eye, which is the sclera. So the cornea only takes up a small portion of what's known as the fibrous tunica. So again, you've got the cornea, and then everything else that you see that's the white of the eye is going to be what's referred to as the sclera. Now, before we start to dissect the eyeball, we can look at the back of the eye. You've got this little stalk-looking structure here. This is the optic nerve. That's the optic nerve. And then you have all of these reddish brown areas, kind of looks like a piece of steak. Those are the extrinsic eye muscles. Those help to move the eye. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take things off compartment by compartment. So remember, when we're looking at how the eye inside is divided, you have two major cavities, an anterior cavity and you have a posterior cavity. And it's the anterior cavity that's divided into two chambers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the first chamber, which is known as the anterior chamber. So I've made my incision. You can see that some fluid is coming out. Now what that fluid is called the aqueous humor. And the aqueous humor is only found in the anterior cavity. So for me, to help me remember, as I remember A and A, the anterior cavity contains aqueous humor. So I'll go ahead and continue to cut off the cornea so we can see the first compartment. So I've taken off the cornea. You can see that it's concave here. And that small little pocket that it creates is called the anterior chamber of the anterior cavity. So how does the anterior chamber work? Well, it runs from the cornea that you see here all the way to this black olive ring structure that you see, which is the iris, which is the colored part of the eye. So if you think of it like looking at the face of a clock, you've got glass that covers the face. That would be the cornea. And then you get a space that's in between the glass of the clock and the face of the clock. That space between the two would be what we refer to as the anterior chamber. So again, cornea, iris, space that runs in between the two is called the anterior chamber of the anterior cavity. So next we can see that we've got an opening here at the center of the iris. That is called the pupil. So the iris controls the diameter of the pupil, and directly behind, or what's in the opening, is this round structure that's called the lens. So even the lens is usually clear, but again, because it's been exposed to the formaldehyde of the preserving solution, it denatures and it clouds up like this. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take off the rest of the anterior cavity structures, and take a look at what's behind the iris here. So you can see you've got the lens here, which I just popped out. That's the lens. It's not filled with fluid. It's actually a solid piece of collagen fibers. So we'll put that off to the side. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more. So now we can see behind the pupil. So again, the opening is the pupil. You can see here at the center, you've got the behind portion of the iris. So it's smooth in appearance. And then you have this portion here that kind of looks like the underneath of a mushroom cap. That is called the ciliary body. So again, at the center, you've got the smooth part, which is the back of the iris. And then you have the serrated portion here that looks like the underneath of a mushroom cap. That is called the ciliary body. Now, in between the two, you have a small little pocket. You can see that I'm putting the probe underneath the ciliary body. There's a pocket there. That pocket is the posterior chamber. That's where that is located. And it runs the entire circumference. So that small little pocket is the posterior chamber of the anterior cavity. So the chambers are only found in the anterior cavity, and you have two major cavities of the eye. We're looking at the back portion of the anterior cavity. Now the outer perimeter, or the outer edge of the ciliary body that runs all the way around, that outer edge, which is kind of like a hemline, is called the ora serrata. So the ora serrata goes all the way around. And then once you finish with the serrated part, you're then into the smooth black. That's going to start the posterior cavity. So if we take a look at the posterior cavity now, you can see that there's this jelly-like fluid. This jelly-like fluid is called the vitreous humor. And the vitreous humor also helps with refraction, but it helps to make sure that the beige membrane that you see underneath it stays stuck to the cavity. So that membrane that you see underneath, that's the retina. So we'll go ahead and we'll gently scoop out. You can see how the retina is pulling with it. So it's very easy to pull the retina because the retina is not attached except in one spot to the posterior cavity. So when I tip it over, see how the vitreous humor comes out and the retina, this is it, all of that is the retina. Now, where the retina is stuck, this spot right here, that's the point of attachment of the retina, which is the optic disc, which you know is the blind spot. So I'm going to cut away the retina so you can see the rest of that. All right, so this little thing right here that kind of looks like a spit wad or a wet booger, whichever you prefer, that marks where the optic disc is at. So the optic disc is where the retina attaches, but it's also the starting point for what we saw as the optic nerve, which is back here. So the optic disc, blind spot, where the retina attaches, but it's also where the optic nerve begins. Now this beautiful bluish pearlescent, or you'd say iridescent coloring that you see, that's called the tapetum lucidum. Now, animals outside of humans, like in the case of this cow's eye, are able to see better in the dark because their eyes are bigger, but they also contain this tapetum lucidum. And what it does is it acts like a mirror, and when they're in low light environments, the light rays bounce around inside of there, making it easier for them to see in the dark. So that's why when you take a picture of like your cat or your dog, you sometimes see this white or blue light shining back. That's the tapetum lucidum working like those mirrors. Ours, we don't have a tapetum lucidum. Instead, our pigmented layer of our retina is reddish brown, which is why we get red eye when light hits that and our pupil is dilated. So again, this beautiful blue iridescence that you see, that is called the tapetum lucidum. Now right here, see that little black spot? It's actually an indentation into the layers. That little black spot is called the central fovea. And typically it's surrounded by an area, I'm kind of tracing around where you'd see it, called the macula lutea, which means a yellow spot. Now you can't really see that it's yellow here, but I have a picture that will show you the macula lutea and how yellow it can be in some of the eyes. But at the center of the macula lutea, you find this little black indentation, which is the central fovea. So that's where all of the images you're looking at are focused to, is right there. So this is where you're going to find the highest concentration of cones, so that's how you get your visual acuity. Now with the pigmented layer of the retina on the opposing side, if we taco this over, you're going to see this blackish brown coloring. The blackish brown is called the choroid layer of the eye. That's the blackish brown. And then you're back into the white part of the eye, which is called the sclera. So this whole hollowed out area again, that's the posterior cavity, not to be confused with the chamber. You got the sclera is the outermost, then you would hit the choroid, tapetum lucidum, and then you'd have the retina inside of that, and then you'd have the vitreous humor on top of it. Those are the different layers. So if you have any questions about these structures that you're required to know for the practical, contact your instructor.